when I turned 50, I went skydiving.
Oh my gosh.
And I had never been skydiving before. I was pretty excited about it. And, we went up and up and up in the plane. And I was tethered to someone because that's what you have to do when you first go.
Right.
I was doing fine until about 10,000 feet when we got up there and the door opened and people just started falling out, which feels very unnatural because if you've been on planes, that doesn't usually happen.
People do not fall out, hopefully.
No.
Yes.
And then it was our turn and we nudged towards the door and I'm up on this plane on a step on the outside of a plane. I could see the curve of the earth and everything. And it was really only in that moment that I felt some fear. Like, what am I doing? Like, I think I need to go back, but there's no going back at this point once you're on the stair on the outside. No. We took the leap. It's only really the first 3 seconds you feel like you're falling. And then after that, it's floating. The only time I was fearful was right before taking the leap. And that's with everything. I use that in my life all the time now. Like, oh, you're feeling fearful right now. But the best thing is just beyond that leap, if you just take the leap.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate. Shout it for you and me. We can do anything. It's time to set us free.
Welcome back to Time to Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Ann Lucente. One of the things I absolutely love about podcasting is the incredible people I meet along the way. The podcasting community is so welcoming, always ready to share knowledge and lend a helping hand to new podcasters like myself. Collaborating with like-minded people is powerful, and I would be lost without them. Plus, I've gained some amazing friendships with many more to come. Life's journey is fascinating. Imagine taking an aerial view of all the connections made from slight shifts or decisions that change the course of our lives. Today's guest is someone I most likely would never have met if I hadn't made one of those shifts and changes in my direction. But before we jump in, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a podcaster, author, and founder of the Women in Podcasting Network and Inspiring Innovators Club. Her mission is to lift women's voices and stories globally. She's known for her ability to build thriving, supportive, and collaborative communities, and she teaches others how to do the same. She loves creating opportunities for women to connect and collaborate in meaningful ways. Using her Rise, Reach, Results roadmap, she provides tools, templates, and training to help her members generate more impact and influence. She speaks about her mindset, messaging, and monetization strategies for building communities, leveraging content, and turning expertise into multiple streams of income. She is an award-winning leader and has won or been nominated for a number of awards. Most recently, she is the winner of the Innovator of the Year Award at the Quill Podcast Awards. So, let's get right to it and welcome my special guest, podcaster, author, and founder of the Women in Podcasting Network and the Inspiring Innovators Club, my new friend, Jennifer Henczel.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you're here. Gosh, I feel like I know you forever. I feel like I really do. It's so wild. Oh my gosh. So I want you, before we first of all, I want to say how we met. Let me say that. Okay, so how we met it was definitely like divine intervention for myself because I was lying in bed and I happened to be scrolling and I noticed that you were having the Women in Podcasting Awards, and I saw a post, and I saw some friends posting about it, and I saw it was the deadline. No joke, like that was the deadline of the day, that day, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I need to jump in here. I need to get in on this. This is so cool." And that's how we met. Then we just emailed because of that, and I saw a post that you were available for interviews, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I so need to meet you." So that's like really exciting. So
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, if anybody's listening and you love this show, make sure to go and vote for this show in the Women in Podcasting Awards.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So before we get into some amazing things, I wanted to ask you something else. What are the Quill Awards? I don't think I've ever heard of them. But I'm
Yeah,
new
so
in podcasting. So tell me what those are.
that was just another a company that creates, I believe they offer some kind of podcasting services. And so to celebrate their clients and their community, they put on an awards also. It's more of an online awards situation too.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. There's
Similar.
so many things. There's so many things out there. I just love it. Like seriously, the podcasting community is just so full of just like energizing, inspiring things, and the people are so really so welcoming and so willing to give advice. I wouldn't know even how to begin really
Hmm.
without everybody.
Yeah.
So before we get into all the amazing things that you're doing, because when I investigated you, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much to say, but I'm going to let you talk. I want to know, like, who are you? Where do you live now? Before all the podcasting stuff and all that happening, like, tell me about you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's such a thrill just to hang out with you because this is why I started the Women in Podcasting Network because I wanted to connect with other women, you know? So
Right.
years ago, I was, before I started the Women in Podcasting, before I even knew how to build a community, I was doing a full-time job and doing my business as a side gig. And so it was hustle, 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 like 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And it always seemed I wanted to turn my part-time gig into my full-time business, into a full-time income. And it just success always seemed like it was around the corner. I was just missing something. Something wasn't connecting. And so I kept trying and trying and trying and trying. And then finally, in 2012, I was able to break through and turn my side gig into my full-time income. And so how that started, how my journey started for that, the big transformation that happened that really turned the corner for me was I got a phone call at my job, and it's the worst phone call you'd ever want to receive. It was my husband's boss, and he said, "You have to come to the hospital right away because your husband's been in a horrible accident." And so I got
Oh
there, and
my
it turned
gosh.
out that he had been crushed by thousands of pounds of wood.
Oh my
I didn't, I
oh
didn't
my
even
goodness.
recognize him. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
And what
so,
what was what was where what was the what kind of job was this? Was it construction or was it
so he was a foreman in a mill.
okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
And so he survived, thankfully. But it's been a long, long, long recovery
Wow.
and really difficult. And I'm so proud of him, and he's been so courageous. And a lot of couples get divorced because of this kind of thing, but it just brought us closer together. And so, for me, one of the things that impacted me the most, what I just found fascinating, was all the communities he had been involved in before his accident
Hmm.
now came around and visited us and rallied around him. And he was a volunteer football coach in the
Oh,
community. So coaches and players would come around and say, "We're here for you, Coach Paul," and that was so meaningful for us. It
right.
really carried us through and sustained us through that time. And it just did something for me. It ignited something in me where I realized I had been stuck and I was living a life I didn't even want to live.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
I had been stuck behind my screens. I was stuck in my career. I was just stuck. And I found out, I really figured out that one of the things I was missing was that kind of community in the business world, in the entrepreneur world. And I just had this craving to connect with people.
Right.
And so I put it out there. I just put it out on socials. I wasn't very organized with it at that time. And I said, who would like to join me for lunch? What other business owners are out there? Well, to my surprise, I reserved this little room. To my surprise, 50 business owners showed up.
Oh
50
my
people showed up.
goodness. You're kidding. That
Yeah,
is
so the
so
room,
great. So many people missing what you were missing. Oh my gosh.
exactly.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So it wasn't
Wow.
just me. There were others out there feeling the same way. And so
Yeah.
that one little meeting turned into a group, and the group turned into a network. I had multiple chapters throughout my region of different networks because people wanted to connect.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I really realized was that for anything to work, you need to be part of a community.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
And you need to build your circle of support around you. It's not going to build itself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
people will help you if you show up to be helped.
Right.
You
Right.
need to show up. That's the critical part, right? And so
Yes. Oh
And
my
so,
gosh.
you need to let yourself be exposed and have the experience and the value of being connected and supported. You need to actually show up and experience those things. And so the myth is that the one who teaches the most, the one who creates the best website, the one who has the best social media and the most content, and the one who hustles the most, like I said, I was working 14, 16 hours a day, to the point, hustling to the point of exhaustion. That's the myth, is you need to
Mm-hmm.
hustle to the point of exhaustion to experience freedom and money freedom and time freedom. But it's just not true,
Mm-mm.
because the problem was I wasn't connecting with anyone. I was trying to do everything myself and doing it all alone. But
Right.
hustling alone on your on your own island doesn't get
Wow.
you anywhere.
No.
Connecting with other people makes the journey more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's so true. And the hustling, I'm always thinking about too, like even like the pause that, taking a little pause. Sometimes I think I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm pausing. I'm like relaxing, like I should be hustling. And it's not true. You get so much more done when you take that pause, I feel, right? That you're like
Yeah.
rejuvenated or whatever happens in that pause. It's so important. But to have the people around you really, really is a big deal. That's really a big
Hmm.
deal.
Yeah, and
So,
opportunities will flow to you when you open yourself to that. And you
mm-hmm.
just, like you said, take a pause and you open yourself to the opportunities that can flow towards you. Because, I had to flip the scripts in my mind.
Right.
Like the ones that say you have to do everything on your own, you don't need other people, you have to be polished before you show up. And,
Right.
I believe that was the biggest one for me, is that, oh, you have to be perfect and polished before you show up and do anything for anyone, but it's the opposite. You need to show up and be you.
Yes.
You need to be
Yes.
authentically you.
Authentically you. It's oh my gosh, that's so true. That's so true. And you can feel the difference too when you are you and when you're not you and you're trying to put something it just doesn't seem to flow at all. Like you can
Yeah,
memorize things and whatever, but if it's not in you, it's not part of who you are, it just
mhm,
doesn't come out right. So
exactly.
this was what year was this? 2012? What
So
year
that
was
was
it?
2012 that I created that
2012.
group.
Created the group.
Yeah.
So you started at that point. So this is amazing. I'm saying it like it's like okay. So then you started that group. That's like amazing. So your husband had this horrible accident. Thank God, like you said, he's good. And that took obviously a while probably for him to come, recuperate and do all that. And in the meantime, now you were setting up this group, um, getting these. And then what happened? Was it women, men, both? Was there a
Yeah.
stipulation or?
That one was live in person events, and that one was men and women. And so the cool thing is that platform helped me to help my husband go from an injured mill worker to an international speaker.
Wow.
And so I also helped him publish a book. I've published my own books. And so
Oh.
I helped him publish a book called Crushed Alive. And he also did a TED Talk called Silencing Stigma Through Storytelling. And so we both specialize in storytelling together. He specializes in mastering your story, and I specialize in monetizing your story.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That is amazing. You're going to have to share all these links with me because we're going to need to post them in the show notes. Plus, I need to look at these books. So I don't, tell me a little bit more about that. Just a little bit more about the book writing and what you do. Like,
Well, because he was a football coach and because that kind of inspired me, his communities that came around inspired me to create my own community. I like to say, drop the hustle and join the huddle.
I like that. I
So in
like
other
that.
words, yeah, in other words, be part of a community, right? And so
Yes.
when I wanted to move my business from live in person to online, so I sold that network, and my husband and I have spoken in lots and lots of places, which we've really enjoyed meeting people that way too. But I wanted to move my business online. And so we started our podcast finally. The whole situation really inspired us to listen to podcasts and to start our podcast.
Okay.
And so that's when I moved my business online, and I wanted to connect with other women podcasters naturally. Anything that's been successful to me, it's been, like you said, out of my own natural desire and my own, my craving to connect with people. And so I just wanted to
Yeah.
connect with other women podcasters. And to my surprise, the group became very popular. And then I started a membership because I noticed a lot of the women were struggling with monetizing their podcast. And so I started a membership. And within the first 10 days, I had 100 members.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is one. So within that, you have different ideas and things for monetizing and all that?
So I actually have 4 different levels. The Women in Podcasting Network, I've provided lots of tools that I had in my academy and that I create for my academy, but I offer them at a more affordable price for women podcasters because my mission really is to elevate women's voices globally and in the podcasting industry. And so I've offered that at a very reduced price to what you might see in the market for similar things. And so a lot of things in there are specific templates and things like that to help podcasters, time-saving templates and different things to help them. And then as you go up, there's more and more tools for monetizing. So in the Rise Reach Results Roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
I show people there actually how to monetize more. There's some things in the Women in Podcasting Network, but then in the Rise Reach Results, there's more tools and more training around really how to monetize. And I actually offer a funnel in there to help people start fast, because what I found is people really struggle with, well, but how do I, okay, that sounds great, but how do I do that? So I actually give them the funnel that they can start using for free.
Right.
So they can start monetizing right away.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. That is wonderful. And I'm acting like I don't know anything about it, only because I literally went in, put my name in there, and I'm getting your wonderful emails. And I have to now sit down and go through everything because I'm love that I'm talking to you first. So I'm getting like the inside scoop, because when you go into something, you're like, where do I start? What do I do? But you have great emails that really direct and show you, where to go. So the Inspiring Innovators Club, is that part of that too, or is that a totally separate thing?
Yeah, so then that's the next level, basically. If someone wants to monetize, start a membership or something, I have templates in there that they can actually customize. So all my most popular workbooks and things that I use at the other levels, they can actually take the actual raw template and use them with their own clients and members.
Okay.
And so it just saves a lot of time. So I have a whole huge coaching package. I have a huge mindset package. I have a large email marketing package to help with email marketing. So there's all these extra things that people can use for monetizing their own message and just to save time. So people can customize packages with those templates around their own expertise and add their own flair to them.
Okay, great. But the place to start is the Women in Podcasting website, right? .net, and that will direct you to the other levels and the other things.
Yeah, if someone's a podcaster, a woman podcaster, then they need to start there. If they're not a woman podcaster, or even if you are,
right.
Rise, Reach, any of the other ones, any genders can join. Yeah.
Okay, you can do that and go in anyone there. Okay, that sounds so great. Oh my gosh. So, well, before we move on, do you want to tell me any more about this part of it before I start asking you all these other questions?
No, well, I mean, I'm so thrilled to have you as a nominee. As a nominee, I've also given nominees access to Rise Reach Results for 3 months until the end of the awards so that they can use that to rally their listeners and to connect with their audience, because I'm all about connection and community. And I just want to help foster that for women podcasters, because I really do have a goal of elevating women's voices globally in the podcasting industry. And to do that, some of these tools need to be incorporated, and I want to help people in the most affordable way possible.
Right. I love that. Can I tell you how glad I am I'm talking to you? Because you know how it is, right? We're so sometimes digitally overloaded, I call it, right? Like I get a lot, and I know your emails, and I saved all your emails, and I'm like, I have to look closer. But now talking to you is so much better for me, because now I know, okay, now I know where to start, what to do. Not that you're confusing. It's that my brain, sometimes we're in so many different directions, right? We've got so many various things, because like I'm also a voice actor, right? And I do the podcasting, and then I also I work a job as well. So, you're trying to like really put things to, all together and stuff. And so it's, it's a lot happening at the same time. And even for for you as well, you probably do a lot of your, you do your own editing and things like that for your podcast and stuff. So that's, and I love doing it. It's sometimes I'm like, I'm so tired I'll do tomorrow, but I love it. Like I love every aspect. I figure I'm a control freak or something. I don't know, but I just love doing it. I really love it. I just want more time and a little more energy. That's what I want. So I've learned to do things like that. So I usually ask you my signature question at the end, but I don't even have to ask you because you just answered it. My signature question is, share a moment in your life or career of resilience, divine intervention, or a time you had to pivot. This is a huge part of your life where not only you had to pivot, but it was major, and you came out on the other end like unbelievably, but also included other people in it, it gives me chills to talk about that because I love the connection. And being a podcaster for me, I love it. It's such a love for me. I love my voiceover as well, but I'm alone in here. You know what I mean? I'm alone. I'm auditioning, and I have a community. But when you're working, you're alone. But now when you're working podcasting, like I get to see you, I get to talk to you. It's like such a great thing. I love it so much. You know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I wanted to say while I was investigating you, there are just like so many, you're surrounded by so much goodness, I have to say. When I read the things about you, it's just such a good feel that I get from you in general. But I want to say when I read the love letter to women no, I didn't read. I listened to your love letter to women in podcasting. And can I tell you that I knew we would be connected? The bamboo tree story is my absolute favorite story. I talk about it all the time. All the time.
Aw.
So can you just tell a little bit about that, the bamboo tree, what that whole premise is behind it?
Yeah, so I did some research. I was shocked to find out that bamboo, a lot of it grows underground before you even see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a lot of about how the bamboo grows underground, but then when it comes out, it's so beautiful. And bamboo is one of the most versatile things in the world where you can create build a paintbrush out of bamboo as
Wow.
well as the paper,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can it can be used for so many things, and it really serves humanity. And so it's my love letter to podcast. You kind of have to hear it, but I wrote it, so it's kind of like a poem almost, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just how podcasters and coaches are in service to humanity and how they grow and nurture so much, and then they help and serve everyone around them. I have another one too about sunflowers,
Oh,
because did you know that sunflowers, when the sun isn't out, when the sun's out, they face the sun. But
right.
when the sun isn't out, they face each other for the
Oh,
nourishment and the light
I
to get
did
more
not
light
know.
reflected. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
so I love talking about
Oh,
encouragement
oh my
and
gosh.
just absorbing myself in encouragement and encouraging others. I really, if anyone was to describe me, they would say I'm an encourager. I love encouraging other people. And
Yeah.
so I love that story of the sunflower also. So I like analogies because my husband and I are storytellers and we've kind of specialized in storytelling. I love analogies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I did not know that about sunflowers. That's very cool. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So, do you have an analogy that pops into your head that you can tell me? Anything that pops into your head at the moment?
I just adore you and your show. You remind me of,
Oh,
I love the vibe of disco balls and stuff like that, and like the
yeah.
party, fun, energizing.
Yeah.
That's what you're like
Oh.
a disco ball. You're like this
Oh.
sparkly thing that everyone wants to be around, and you want to hear the music that goes with it, and you want to
Oh.
just be involved and be in that room
Oh
with the
my
disco ball.
gosh.
And that's what you remind me of.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Thank you. See, now I love you even more. That was just that's really I can't even tell you what that means to me because,
Uh,
we all forget who we are or anything, like when we're in the thick of things, we're like sometimes it's so great to be able to take yourself out of it and be in a community, to be with other
yeah.
people to talk. Oh, thank you for that. That's so beautiful.
And your space looks like that too. So it matches.
Oh, thanks. So while I was looking, and you have so many great subjects that I really loved, I picked out the one to talk to you about was the power of encouragement, 5 mindset shifts for getting royally unstuck. I love that. Please help. Please tell us all some things
Yeah.
you want to
Well,
tell me.
oh, great. Well, yeah, when I went through that experience, I was able to identify 5 mindset shifts that really, really helped me. And the first one was community, which we've talked about, starting your own community around your message. And the next one is courage. And you need to have the courage to realize that your ideas are not enough
Hmm.
because, you need to take action. Because I discovered that ideas don't mean much unless you actually put them into action and actually start implementing some of the stuff you've learned.
Yes, and that
Right?
goes along with some of the things I've done. Dreams, goals, and action. I talk about at the beginning of when I started the podcast because if you don't, you're not. You'll have an idea, like you said, and it'll just
Yeah.
sit there. And then if you go randomly without even thinking of an idea, I think that would be bad too, right? It would be like,
Exactly.
where am I going? Okay, go ahead. I'll let you go. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, no, totally though, because a lot of times we put our most precious thing, our thing that we want to do the most, why do we put it on the furthest back burner?
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to actually start implementing what we've learned and putting those strategies that into place, into action, right? And
Right.
stop
Right.
stopping. We need to stop stopping,
Yes,
you
that's so
know?
important because it's so hard to restart yourself. It's not, sometimes I think that pause we talked about is okay. The pause
Mhm.
is okay, but the stopping could be really detrimental, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because just knowing doesn't make the difference. It's when you actually
Right.
act on what you know.
Right.
Because,
Right.
make no mistake, if you're going to change the world or your industry, you need to create momentum, and that takes action,
Right. Right.
and you need to go with instead of having excuses for not doing it, find those reasons to do it now,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so when I turned 50, I went skydiving.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
I had never been skydiving before.
I have never.
But I was pretty excited about it. And we went up and up and up in the plane, and I was tethered to someone because that's what you have to do when you first go.
Right.
But they kind of let you make the decisions and things when you're gonna go and move and stuff. And I was doing fine until about 10,000 feet when we got up there, and the door opened
Oh my
and people
gosh.
just started falling out, which feels very unnatural because if you've been on planes, that doesn't usually happen.
No, people do not fall out, hopefully.
No.
Yes, yes.
And so, I
Oh
was
my
doing pretty good
gosh.
up until that point. And then it was our turn and we nudged towards the door. And when you're skydiving, there's a little step on the outside of the door. Step on the step. And so I'm up on this plane on a step on the outside of a plane looking out,
Oh
and I
my
could see
gosh.
I could see the curve of the earth and everything. And it was really only in that moment that I felt some fear. Like, what am I doing? Like, I think I
Yeah.
need to go back, but there's no going back at this point once
No,
you're on the stair on the outside.
no. Oh my
And so
gosh.
it was and then we took the leap. And then a lot of people, I never knew this before until I discovered it myself, but it's only really the first 3 seconds you feel like you're falling.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Really?
after that, it's floating. You're just floating after that.
Oh.
You take a certain position and then you're just floating. You're just
Oh,
floating and
wow.
flying. And it was an absolute incredible experience. Then I just saw the scenery. I wasn't just being like, oh, there's the curve of then I was looking,
Right.
I could see all the landmarks in my town. Like it was incredible. It was
Oh
incredible.
my
And it was
gosh.
beautiful. It was glorious. Landed safely. I was like celebrating when I landed. I was like so excited about the whole experience. The only time I was fearful was right before taking the leap. And that's
Ah,
with everything. That's with everything. Right. And so I use that in my life all the time now. Like, oh, you're feeling fearful right now. But the best thing is just beyond that leap if you just take the leap.
oh, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. I absolutely love that. That is amazing.
So that's courage. You need courage to take the leap, whatever that leap
Yes.
is for you. And then the third thing is clarity.
Mm,
And that's all about living your passion,
yeah.
and if you don't know what your passion is, what really fires you up?
Mm,
What
right.
really lights you up? And then your purpose is how you serve the world with your passion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if someone's listening and they're just ready to take the leap and they want to live their passion,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know the world needs your gifts and the
Mm,
world needs to hear your message
right.
because all of us need to use our voice and speak up. So what really is your passion? What really fires you up? What's your superpower? What do other people know you're the best at?
Right.
What do
Yeah.
you want to share with the world to change the world?
Wow.
You
And
know?
and I think people, sometimes somebody listening might be below, I don't know. I don't know what it is because sometimes it's just confused in your head. I think a lot of that goes back to community, right?
Mhm.
Because you get to see yourself sometimes through other people's eyes when you don't see it yourself maybe, or you think maybe, oh, what I have to offer really doesn't matter, but that's not true if you share it and people will tell you otherwise. And without that community, you won't get that feedback. So
Exactly.
it's all connected. It's all through each thing.
Hmm.
That's like amazing, you know. It's like, how do you do what do you do? Let me ask you this question with all like the things of the clarity part, which I'm thinking for myself. Clarity, I'm always saying I just want like, that clarity or it's not peaceful and productive. Those are my two things. I want to be peaceful yet productive because with social media, not just social media, emails and things like that, it's very loud sometimes. And going through that, is there like a certain tip you can give for that kind of thing to keep your head focused?
Well, my husband and I, because of the situation, we brought on a lot of modalities that help us, and we really put our self-care first, and that really does help with focus for sure. I've
Mm-hmm.
also uh, I was an artist when I was young. I wanted to be an artist. That's what I wanted to be when I was a child, right?
Oh,
I wanted to
right.
grow up and be an artist.
Yeah.
And I kind of, that wasn't everybody else's idea for me. So I went in the business direction. But it worked out because in my work is there's a lot of creativity. And
Mm-hmm.
I create. I'm constantly creating. I also have in my area something called the Provincial Instructor's Diploma. And so that sounds kind of dry, but actually it's about creating curriculum and teaching
Oh.
adults.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I love creating curriculum. That's why I have so many memberships and courses and things like that because I
Mm-hmm.
love creating curriculum and helping adults. I've learned about brain-based learning and all that kind of stuff. I have all those skills. And so it all really comes together as an artist. And now I've also been drawing a lot. And so doing doodles, it's called doodle drawing or line drawing. It
Mm-hmm.
actually gives your brain a break, just like meditations.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible. I
You're
cannot
kidding.
believe it. I cannot believe how much of a break it gives my
Oh,
brain.
wow.
And at first I
Oh,
thought, oh, I don't
wow.
have time to draw, but now I don't have time not to draw because it actually relieves my brain just as much as meditation or anything like that.
So, do you just doodle randomly, or is there something like there's something you follow, or some kind of direction?
Well, I've been posting my pictures. You can take a look at my drawings in my socials or
Yeah.
go to TikTok and just type in line drawing or
Oh.
doodles. And we
Oh,
have a group.
wow.
My sister came out and visited me. I got her doodling. And now we
Ah,
have a group called Calm Doodles
no
just for fun.
way.
Yeah. And so now we share our art in there and we encourage other people to share their art in there.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to look that up because I also see this is why we're connected. I also draw. I love it,
Oh,
but I also don't have a lot of time. So I
yeah.
also I even in school and college, I minored in art and then I decided to stop doing that, which is too much. And my major, marketing, business. So I was doing that. And so, but I love to draw. So over the years, I've drawn various things for people and whatever, even for myself. And just last year, it's been so long, I drew a picture for my daughter, Victoria. I drew her. And it was, oh my God. And it took me a while to do it. And at first, I was like, okay, this is looking like this is good. And then by the end, I'm like, you know what? She looks fine sketched out. I don't have to finish, but I did finish. I did finish her. But I love it too. I love charcoal and pastels and all that. I love
Oh,
it.
nice.
But I
Yeah, that's
also
so
feel
cool.
like I don't have time. I have all this stuff set up. So I'm going to look that up
Mhm.
too. I'm going to look
So
that
I
up.
use just for some people use notebooks, but I
Mm-hmm.
use 4x6 cardstock pieces. And
Oh.
I make sure it can be done in one sitting.
Oh,
Like
I like that.
each drawing can be done in one sitting. And so that just gives me such a
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment finishing that and it gives my brain a break.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that. So, because I really enjoy it too, and I think that
Mhm.
just having just that side of you, that creative, it
Yeah.
just does something. It just does something to
Yeah.
your whole being and stuff. That is
Yeah.
wonderful.
So that
Yeah.
helps with clarity a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Yeah, and focus. The focus. It really clears out my brain so that I can focus on whatever I need to focus on.
Yeah, and that's important. Really,
Yeah.
clearing out the brain is so important.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
yeah. Number four is collaborating. So connecting and collaborating with others is vital to our wellness, right? So to the wellness, our mental wellness and to the wellness of our business. So that I just find that really important collaborating. Like we're collaborating now and just
yeah.
meeting people, doing collaborations together online and even in person and things like that. And it's just about lifting each other up
Mm,
and it just reminds you you don't have to go it alone. Every collaboration I've done has been really well received and successful with the ones
yeah.
I've done online with the other women in podcasting or other groups that I'm in for entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
because we're all in this together.
Right. Right.
And I love creating opportunities for others to connect and collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just my passion is to help others do that as well.
I
And
love that.
because we all have a shared goal, right? We all want to be successful in our businesses and help others. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we help each other that way and collaborate, it just makes everything, it gives momentum to everything you're doing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, when you,
That's so true. That's so true.
yeah,
It's and you know, like for Time to Elevate, part of what I have my description about it is that we're all on this journey together. We're all
yeah,
on the journey, no matter how the path may be a little different. You know, we choose different ways to go, but we're together. So why not elevate each other on the way? You know, it's just oh,
yeah,
it's so wonderful. Like just gives me chills listening to you because I just love it. It's such a confirmation, you know, about it.
yeah.
I just love that.
It's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
joint ventures can help you save money and make more money.
Oh
And
yes.
they can help you, progress whatever you're doing even further because you're accessing other people's audiences. So they're
Mm,
accessing your audience, but you're also accessing a whole new audience in their audience, right?
yes.
So it really helps. And when you find someone and you get better at finding people you align with, like us, like I feel like we've really connected really well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
finding promotional partners and sponsorship opportunities and affiliate partners, um,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of promotional opportunities and exchanges that people can do to help one another,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so great. That's so great.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the fifth one is confidence.
Ah, there's a
The
big
fifth
one.
one is confidence. And whoever's listening, I want you to know that you are enough. In fact, and this is where the royally unstuck comes from. In fact, you are royalty because we're taking royalty back.
Good.
And yeah, by royalty, I just mean our highest selves
Mhm.
because you are the ruler of your own life.
Mhm.
You are the ruler of your own life. So you need to embrace the royal position that you hold in your own mind and your own life. And you have the power to rule over every action that occurs within
Yeah.
your being in your life, right? And you are a brilliant genius with much to offer the world. So you need to declare it, decree it, and proclaim it. And who else is going to do it for you? Because you are the ruler of your own life. So is anyone else running your life? Right?
No, well,
And
hopefully not, right now.
yeah. And so
Right.
I want people out there to think about what are you known at that you're really good for? And, are you business royalty? Are you the queen of organization?
Mm-hmm.
Are you empowerment royalty, health and wellness royalty? The king of gluten-free living?
Yeah.
Or, because I feel like I'm the queen of community building.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't like the royalty stuff, if you don't like the meaning around royalty, well, you could say I am an expert in, I am a specialist in, my superpower is, or I am good at,
Mm-hmm.
or I am the happiest when
Ah,
right, am doing something.
yes.
Or I really shine when I'm
Mm.
XYZ. And so use whatever empowers you, ditch whatever doesn't resonate with you. But for me, that helped me to get unstuck, to get royally unstuck, or those five things: community,
Mm-hmm.
courage, clarity, collaboration, and confidence.
Yeah, those are amazing. Those are amazing, really. I love everything you said about it. It's so empowering. Just listening to you talk about it and just share. It's just I can see that it's coming from your heart, and it just you can feel it, and it just is so energizing, and it makes you realize it gives you that clarity. It kind of clears out the stuff in your brain while I'm listening to you. You know, it clears out the other stuff, and just be like that. That's what's important. You know, that's the important thing. I love
Mhm.
that. Oh my gosh.
Well, doesn't it just feel so good to connect?
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I'm so thankful for this, for things like Zoom and other platforms, because I can't imagine not being able to do this. You know,
Yeah,
this is just wonderful.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. So, is there anything else that you wanted to share that I didn't ask you or talk about?
Well, I just hope everybody votes for your show because you are
Thank you.
awesome. Your show is
Oh,
awesome. And, I want everybody to listen to your show and then to vote for it.
oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And I would love for you to share a quote before we go. Your favorite quote.
Oh, well, you know what? Every year on my birthday,
Uh-huh.
I post my birthday wish is build bridges, not walls.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
when's your birthday? You want to share?
Coming up in September.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
September
Wonderful.
16th. And I've been
Very
posting that
good.
for years and years and years.
Oh my
That's what it's the
gosh.
communication. It's about communication, about, connecting with each other
I
rather than
love
building
that.
barriers. And I like to bring barriers down and help
Yes.
people connect.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And not that I'm big into horoscopes, but are you a Virgo?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm a Taurus, and I hear that Virgo and Taurus are. I'm not very. I just know over the years. Are you into that? Because I'm not overly into it, but I always knew the signs.
Yeah.
See, that explains it. That explains it. Our stars have
Yeah.
lined.
Yep. It does feel like we're aligned for sure.
I know it does. It's so
Yeah.
great. I just love, and I love it because just meeting you for a quick sound check before this, last week. It's great because we can read stuff and send emails, but it's not the same as that like that human connection. Even if it's on
Yeah.
here, it's still that connection. I love it. I'm so thankful for you, and I'm so excited that we have this new friendship. I really am so excited about this and everything that you've done. That I cannot wait to just be part of all of that. I love it.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I will share all your links in the show notes and in the posts and stuff. So how can they find you otherwise? Are you on other social media or is it the website the best or?
I'm pretty much everywhere, but you can find me at womeninpodcasting.net
Mm-hmm.
or inspiringshow.com if you want to hear my and Paul's story.
Okay, great. Yes. And then all your links like to other things would be within your website, right? To wherever,
Yeah.
like LinkedIn or
Mhm.
whatever. Perfect. Before
Thank
we
you.
go, I do want to give a huge shout out to my daughter, Victoria Lynn Purdy, who created the Time to Elevate theme song for me. So I always like to give her a little shout out. She also has an interview on here. She was my first guest, actually. Because
wow.
she's a singer-songwriter. So yeah, so she's on here too as well. But I so appreciate it, Jen. I cannot wait to collaborate more with you. And so have a
Lots of good times ahead with the disco ball.
Yes, I love that image. I love it. I think I'm going to get one and put it in here for the next one in honor of you.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. I'm blowing you kisses. It was great to hang out with you. I so appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye for now.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our fate, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate. Shout it for you and me. We can do anything. It's time to say